You are listening to Girls in Low Places, the podcast that asks country artists what only British girls can. I've crawled across the table to Riley Green.
Hey, what kind of show is this?
Flash Tucker Wetmore.
That was you!
And yapped away with Carly Pearce.
To get married and divorced in a year, that is legit country.
And sometimes we just have a good old yap with British icons you wouldn't expect were country fans. So listen to Girls in Low Places wherever you get your podcasts. Gilpers, is that you on the phone? Gilpers, welcome to this, your Q&A episode with the Girls in Low Places, which means that you get to be part of the podcast. You get to be here yapping away with me about everything in country music this week. Dilemmas, problems, situations, concerns, complaints, anything you like. You get to be honorary Girls in Low Places podcast co-host with me each week that I do a solo episode. So have we got a caller on line one? And what's your question?
Good afternoon, ladies. I am fresh to gilping, but I have been won over by Katie's humor, wit, and slight delusions. And I was wondering if the next time y'all are in Nashville, if I could take her out for drinks. I don't mind competing with Riley and Tucker.
We are off to a strong start. Who are you, young sir? The answer is yes. Immediately, yes. Any Nashville man that wants to take me on a drink, I will have to send your dating CV to the team here at Gilp HQ. Ozzy has been vetting a lot of my dating app dates recently. We haven't been having loads of success, but I feel like, maybe we will soon. So yes, any cowboy who wants to take me on a date if we're in Nashville, I'm your gal. Okay, next caller.
Hi, Girls in Low Places. I'd love to know who has been your most surprising or memorable guest on the pod.
It's interesting, that one, because what was a surprising or memorable episode isn't actually always the one that is the most surprising or memorable guest to me personally. I actually am going to say that last week, I'm going to tell you this story. Last week when we did 49 Winchester, right? So once I derobed from my Isaac outfit, I then was chatting away to Isaac afterwards, and he would he stood up, and I just sort of remembered how tall he was, and I was like, God, he's actually really attractive. And I didn't actually think that was going to, I never really thought of myself as an Isaac girly, but I was like, God, he's got something about him. And I felt, and so did the rest of Team Gilp, felt that when we were just chatting away, they were like, oh, she's turned on the charm. And I was in my complete delusion, right? So I thought, because I derobed from looking like him, I thought now suddenly I was like some gorgeous blonde that had come out of it's like some transformation. Realistically, I was still in really, really manly clothes. My hair was all curly. I had not a stitch of makeup on. And I was like, I'm now gorgeous. Obviously, I wasn't. Ozzy was like, the delusion that you have, that you think that you dressed as a man, then transitioning into a very unkempt woman would really be able to convince this rock star that you were the girl for him. Anyway, we then went to Nando's, and I was like, guys, I really think that it could be a long-term slow burn. I think there was a vibe there between us. I really did. And maybe he really liked it because men are all have a little bit of narcissism in them, don't they? Especially rock stars. So I was like, maybe he really liked it that I was dressed up as him, and that was what really got him going. And we were just chatting away about it for ages. Come back after Nando's, we're waiting for them to go on stage, and he kisses the sound girl, and I was like, oh. And then we went on his Instagram, and he's engaged, and we were like, ah, to the sound girl. So that was surprising on many levels. Mainly, the surprising one is that I just think I'm absolutely gorgeous to everyone. And may we all have that delusion, Gilpers. May we all think that all country music artists who come over here fancy the British girls. Because if we didn't have it, I don't know what we would. I mean, I've been getting back on the dating apps this week. God, Jesus Christ. I've never really done the dating apps properly. I've always kind of relied on being a charismatic person in person, or I'd have boyfriends, or I'd be friends of friends, all that stuff. Anyway, I was like, you know what? The problem that I've found with doing that when you're in your 30s is that not everyone in a pub is single anymore. Like, it's like, oh, there's a 1% of like hot man who's still single in his 30s or in your age bracket when you get a bit older. So I was like, okay, I'll get back on the apps because at least it'll tell me who's single, at least who's pretending to be. And it has been the most humbling experience. I have been stood up twice before people even met me. And it has been brutal to my ego, which my friend did say to me, like, everything else in your life is going pretty well, Katie. So maybe you needed this. But girls, it's the trenches out there. They don't even bloody turn up. And they like the ego stroke that they've messaged you to the point that you might get a date. Then they whip it away from you and then they don't talk to you ever again. Now, bear in mind, I do have to say to myself sometimes, do they not know who I am? And to be fair, they don't. That's the point. They actually don't know me at all. I don't put anything gilpy up on those apps, which I think I'd wonder what you Gilpers think of that. Like, do you think I should be saying this is the cool thing that I do for work? Or do you think I should be hiding it from them and pretending to be a normal person? I feel like it's difficult. Sometimes I think it would be cool to show them straight off the bat and so they know what they're getting in for. But then I'm also like, it might put off a lot of people who wouldn't want their lives blasted on a podcast, or they might think I'm a certain type of person, or I might attract a clout chasey country fan and who wasn't in it for the right reasons. They just wanted some gig tickets. I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult. But then I also find that if I put normal things in there as if I'm a normal girl and then I turn up and they're like, oh God, like what in the performance arts is going on here? And it's a lot to explain on a first date that doesn't like absolutely petrify people. So basically, I've decided just to keep on trucking. You've just got to go for as many dates as possible. But you do sit there sometimes as a single girl and be like, why am I inviting this into my life? Like, I generally think that like I've always had the riz, and you get on the dating apps and very quickly you are humbled. And this is me, who's delusional enough to think that a man wants to have relations with me when I'm dressed up as him. I was really living my she's the man, like sort of concept to life. I think it just got in my head and I thought it was actually happening. So all I'm going to say is, c'est la vie, and stay strong out there, because I'm a girl in a low place in terms of those dating apps, but I'm just going to keep going because I refuse to let them beat me. I refuse. I will beat them. I will complete them. Okay? Tinder, if you want to sponsor us, let us know.
Hi, Meg here. Please can you feed Josh Ross a sausage roll on my behalf? Thanks. Love you guys. Bye.
Right, I've got questions. Why do you need to feed Josh Ross a sausage roll? Has he suggested that he wants that? I do know that Josh Ross is actually in town next week. Dolly. I think Dolly wants to feed Josh Ross a sausage roll. If I get the opportunity, Josh is going with me straight to Greg's. But I do have questions about this. Why? Why do you need to feed Josh Ross a sausage roll specifically? Josh Ross. Have you checked if he's a vegetarian? If I'm with Josh Ross next week, I will be feeding him a sausage roll. And this is what's great about this episode, Gilpers, is that you can tell me, if someone's coming into town, what you might want me to do with them. We will take your creative ideas and we will run with them and say they were our own. Basically, Gilpers, actually, I'm going to put the phone down for this. I did get a lot of hate on the Riley Green episode. Loads and loads and loads of trolls, all saying that maybe men and women, saying that our interview was put him in an uncomfortable position, which was interesting to me because, like, I know that was kind of the gag, but that he wasn't in an uncomfortable position. But I think if I'm feeding Josh Ross a sausage roll, do you think there's going to be connotations with it? Because I'm assuming there are. Would that be taking it too far, Gilpers? I want to know.
Hi, Katie. My question is, if you could be the front woman of an existing country band, who are you fronting?
That's a good question. A very good question. First band that comes to mind, definitely the Chicks. I feel like I could really do a great not ready to make nice bridge. I identify with them. I feel like, you know, they said a little bit too much on a big public platform and got absolutely slated for it, when actually we now all look back and think that was absolutely nothing in comparison to them, all the politically charged things that we're seeing in country stars over there at the moment. I think that would be kind of like, you know, a legendary band that I would love to be the lead singer of. But I think actually at the moment, if I could be the fourth member of Just Jane, I would sell my soul. I love that band so much, Gilpers. If you haven't listened to Just Jane, they are the cutest, hottest, coolest girls. And it's like 3 Kelsey Ballerinis all mixed together. I mean, they're so cute, so well dressed. Everything about them, I just like, they're perfect pop country girlies. And I just feel like if they need a fourth member who's, you know, more like a melting candle at any point, just let me know, because I love their music. It's really cute, like girly, girl brain. It's like the inside of the female psyche, the Powerpuff Girls of Nashville.
Good evening, Gilpers. My question to you is, what country artist, male or female, do you feel would give the best erotic response of you climbing over the table to them? I'm looking forward to this one. Can't wait.
The Gilpers are just coming out with absolute clangers. What wording did you just use? Erotic response. Erotic response. What is an erotic response? Is that someone getting an erection? If you are saying, who do I think? This question's going to get me in trouble. Keith Urban's on the market. Keith Urban is on the market. I know it's new. I know the grave isn't even cold yet, but Keith, I want to love somebody. Somebody like that. I do think that Gavin Adcock would actually find it all brilliant, and I really want to interview him. So I think Gavin Adcock, watching you. I also think, is he married? I feel like he's single. Gavin, if you're out there, call me. Dating apps aren't working. Turn up for the date, mate. Oh, you're in a relationship, Gavin. Delete that voicemail. So another one I would suggest that I think would be a great one, who would, you know, get really into the madness with me, Bailey Zimmerman. I've said it for a while. I am manifesting that one hard. No pun intended. Gilpers, which would you think would be a good match for me in terms of an interview in that form? Like, who do you think, Sophia, I should really...
I feel like Zach Bryan could meet you there if he's on the right day. That's one.
I don't think I could meet Zach Bryan with that energy. I don't think. I'd be so nervous that he was going to like rip the whole studio down. Although I do actually think that me and Marin might have some cool energy. I think that Marin has really embraced her new sexuality. And I'm happy to explore what Girls in Low Places means here at Girls in Low Places. And it's up for interpretation. When I do go to Nashville, I'm going to get on... should I get on the Nashville dating apps? Do you reckon they're going to be different? Has anybody tried the Nashville dating apps if they've ever been over there? Have they just given it a go? I would... Oh, it does feel like it's the beginning of a Netflix documentary, doesn't it? I went on a date with an American boy recently, and the one thing that I think is interesting about British girls dating American boys, and I'm not sure if it's the same of American boys dating British girls, but I feel like, because I have more, obviously, like experience over the years with British boys, I feel like I can read them, whether they're into me, whether they're feeling it's a vibe, whether they are like kind of just after one thing or they want something more. Like, I feel like I get a good read of that and a good gut feel with British boys, because like you kind of know the telltale signs, right? But with Americans, I find like they're super polite, they're super forward, like they're so much more let's go on a date, let's do it. And they are respectful. There's a lot more like gentlemanliness, I feel like, with the American dudes when you go on dates with them. And I think sometimes, and enthusiasm, I think they give a little bit more like enthusiasm. And I think sometimes as a British girl, you can misread that and be like, oh, they're really into me. They really, they must love me. I am their princess, passenger princess for the rest of my life. Like, I think it's very easy to do that. then it's often when they say no, actually, or they want to go and do something else, or they're not actually that into it, you feel like you've been gut punched, because at least with British boys, you're like, well, I kind of saw that coming. With American boys, I feel like you can't see it coming because they are generally more gentlemanly than the British boys. But Gilpers, let me know what you think on that, because that's my perspective. It sounds like I've been like, dating, like I've been doing something for the UN or something.
If your love life this month was a country song title, what would it be?
Jesus, take the wheel. And no further comment at this time. Up, down, Morgan Wallen. Because you're up, you're down, and you've got to then get back up again. And guess what? Then you get back down. There is no in between. Yeah. But we get back up, don't we, Gilpers? We get back up because there is a cowboy somewhere waiting for us.
Okay, so I'm trying to get my boyfriend into country music, but every time I put it on, he says it all sounds the same, which drives me insane. But anyway, for context, he's from Europe and almost 20 years older than me, so we have gaps all over the place with everything. But I'm determined, so would love your opinion on a starting point or a gateway artist. I don't know. Help.
Okay, so I think what you need to do is and this is for any Gilpers who have a partner or a friend, they want to get into country music. I think this is the way. You need to get them to give you a list of their top 10 pop rock artists. Get that, and then start thinking about what artist in country matches that closely. So if it's that sort of classic format of like, if your favorite artist is Sabrina Carpenter, you would love Hayley Whitters. It's like finding the country version of what they already love. That will tend to be their gateway drug into what they love. So if you can send us over some of those old bands that he likes, because he's 20 years older than you, I mean, well done, because I reckon he's rich. If you've got a sugar daddy because he's 20 years older than you, then I'm very, very happy for you. But we do need to get him into country music. Like, let's say, okay, what is a guy from Europe who is 20 years older? That lovely lady sounds about my age. So let's say he's 50, right? What's a 50-year-old man from Europe going to like as an artist? Maybe like Aerosmith? Okay, so what would we all say is a country fused artist with Aerosmith? I'd say like a Rascal Flatts, maybe a Brooks and Dunn. Yeah, Hardy, Cadillac 3. I kind of feel like there's someone that we're missing that's really obvious who's like headlined. Dirks? Maybe? Gilpers, this is quite a fun game to play. So maybe let's do some artists each week where I like put it out there being like, if your friend likes X, who would you recommend for them to listen to in country? And then we'll like put it on the stories. It's kind of like a fun little game that we can all play each week. That's quite a good idea, actually. Right, okay, thank you for that. I hope that you are looking forward to looking after him in his care home. Anyway, and you know what? When he's in the care home, when you're looking after him, when you're older, you can play as much country as you like, and he won't be able to stop it. So get him into it now, because he's going to be listening to it for a long time, isn't he? Anyway, okay, let's go. Next question.
Hey, Katie, I'm such a big fan. Thank you so much for brightening every Thursday with your hilarious podcast. So I've got a question for you. I keep dating very emotionally unavailable musicians, and I don't know how to stop. How can I stop falling for them? And have you had any experiences dating musicians? Are they always awful, or is it just me? Thank you. Love you. Bye.
I'm just really excited that I brighten every Thursday. I'm like a nice thirsty Thursday, aren't I? Nice. Probably have a hangover after listening to these episodes too. Why are they like this? They have some sort of chip in their brain that they need attention from large groups. And that's fine. I also share that chip. I also have that. But they get their need scratched all the time by playing on a stage. And they get this kind of like, it's kind of like the same as like, do you remember, did anybody go to university and there was like the doctors, course. What's it called? Medicine. That's it. That doctor's course. All the medical people at uni had like this slight thing. If they were hot and they were on the medical course, they acted like they were God. It's a similar vibe with musicians. They get it fed into them a lot that they are saving lives by being so great because you're all watching them and they're like, oh my God, you're so good. I think it's actually something you just have to feel sorry for a lot of musicians for, because it creates a very strange brain chemistry, which I think means that they do actually struggle with a lot of consistency in their lives. I don't think it's just dating. I think it is a lot of things they find difficult to hold down. And I think also their job is like up and down. They're either touring, or they are out of work, or they are writing and hoping that someone likes what the next thing they're doing. There's not much consistency in that. And I think that sometimes when you don't have consistency in something else, you can't show up in a measured, consistent way unless you do the work. And I think a lot of musicians do get there. I'm not tarring every musician with this brush, but I think there is a general vibe around musicians are, as you say, emotionally unavailable. I mean, I think sometimes you just have to even look at their music and it will tell you all the answers that you've been kind of asking yourself for months. Like, just look at some of their songs. It's amazing how many of us will listen to, let's say, I mean, a good example is our boy Riley. He actually writes a lot of songs about toxic relationships, yet we're all desperate to see if we could bag him. Like, if you actually just listen, they're telling you the answer, but you can't accept it because as women, we just refuse to, don't we? Even if like someone really doesn't text you back, or someone makes something really like obvious in plain sight that they're not interested in you, you're still like, well, maybe he crossed the road and maybe he saw a butterfly and he got distracted, so he didn't text me back. That is the energy we need to stop looking at. The answers are all there in front of us. As women, we like to dissect things tens of times over. The answers are in front of us. And if a man is writing a lot of painful, dark, twisted music about toxic relationships, turns out he probably, if he hasn't done the work, he will also fulfill that in life. Art mimics life. Life mimics art. Is that the right saying? I feel like there is a saying for that. That's the way I feel about it. And I think absolutely everyone can do the work to be in a great long-term relationship. I'm yet to do that work, so I can't sit here and say anything about anyone in this circumstance. But I do think that your answers are probably already there for you. If he's emotionally unavailable now, I don't think he's going to show up for you unless you walk away. The power is being able to walk away, and him knowing that if he thinks that you're still going to show up while he's emotionally unavailable, he's never going to do the work to be available for you. And if he doesn't come after you once you walk away, he wasn't for you. So that's my dating advice of the day. It's like the blind leading the blind.
Hey girls! So my situationship of 6 months said we're basically dating, but then he introduced me as just his friend when we were at a festival. Do I call it, or do I just walk away?
I have questions. First of all, it does make a difference of who. Actually, do you know what? I've got lots of questions. My first question is what festival you were at and what act was playing. Are you sure you heard him right? Was it too loud? He might have said girlfriend. You never know. Ever the optimist. I think if he's introducing you to his friends as a friend, he's either dating someone in their circle as well, so he doesn't want to get back to her, or he doesn't want to make it official. So I think you would need to say to him, I want to be your situationship in public as well as in private. I would actually rather have someone go, this is my situationship, Katie, rather than this is my friend, Katie. I wouldn't be particularly thrilled if someone introduced me as their friend. They can say they want to be friends in private, or that we are friends in private as well as all the other extracurricular activities. But I'd rather be introduced as a situationship. I don't need to be introduced as a girlfriend. Just introduce me as a situationship. Like, call a spade a spade. Introduce me as your situationship or bog off. And I'll accept nothing in between.
There's been so much drama over the Luke Combs Wembley tickets. Some long-time fans saying that new fans shouldn't be allowed to get such coveted tickets and we should have to prove our fandom.
Oh, I love this question. Okay, I am getting so irritated by this notion that only hardcore fans should be able to get tickets, and fans who are learning and liking and starting to introduce themselves to new artists and to country do not deserve to go to a gig. Who invented those made up rules? It is life that music grows, expands, metamorphosizes, changes. Do you think, let's say, for example, Taylor Swift Eras Tour, are we saying that the mums who are passing Taylor Swift as an artist down to their daughters who are going to that, the daughters shouldn't be allowed to go because they might only know 4 of the more recent songs rather than the whole anthology? Like, no, we're not. So why are we doing the same thing in country? And it seems to be rife in country that there is this notion of this old school, we were here before it got cool, so no one else should be allowed to get tickets other than us. Now, touts, I get it. Touts are a nightmare, disease, parasite in the entire music industry. Horrendous, we hate them. But if you are attacking online new country fans for what tickets they're getting over you, that is the luck of the draw, and that's the way it goes. I would like all of those people who are complaining to take a step back and think about what those new country fans have done for this genre, where we are now getting a Luke Combs Wembley event, where we are getting BST, sometimes more than one country headliner a year. It is absolutely insane. We've got like 3 country artists in town every week. We've got C2C headliners like we've never seen before. We have got so much out of this new country boom. And although, yes, there are some things that are frustrating and there are some things that I understand, we all like to have good gig etiquette and we like it to all be something where we ultimately come back to the music. I hate all this fandom shaming. I think it's horrendous. I think country is the one place where you could know so much about one artist and then never have heard of another big artist because you just don't have the access to it in the UK to be able to listen to it unless it's off your own back. And I think it's really frustrating that this is something that is circulating in the country scene. I think it's pathetic. I think it's gatekeepy. And I think it's resentful and bitter, and people aren't looking at the bigger picture. And obviously, we all want to get those tickets, but there are an awful lot of resale. Ticket Swap is a really good app that is, it's great for getting tickets sold at the original price. They can't be put up 10 times. They have to be sold like around the original price. So just get on these apps and you can really make your own luck. If you get on the right groups on Facebook, if you get on the right apps, if you are doing different competitions, giveaways, it does happen that you can try and secure these tickets between now and then. I believe in you, Gilpers. I know you can get it. But I don't think that we should all be having this narrative of new country fans aren't allowed to go to the gigs. I think that's really going against what music does of bringing all different types of people, all different levels of fan, all together to enjoy and learn about an artist's creative journey. I also want to say I saw a TikTok video going around that was it was people being upset that new Riley Green fans didn't know a cover that he was doing. And someone filmed the crowd. This is like a well-known country music influencer as well. They filmed the crowd being like, how ridiculous is this? That no one here knows this song that Riley's covering. It just shows all these people here for clout and here for, they don't care at all. They're here for one song and they're here for the TikToks and the irony was that this guy was thriving off his own TikTok account. So I was like, what? This is so ludicrous. But like that, to me, it just made me so angry. And I sometimes think like, do I comment from girls in low places standing up in what I believe in? Then sometimes I'm like, no, Katie, don't invite that negativity into your day. Like we get enough, nasty comments or things happening online, as any creator does. Like, we get a lot of hate sometimes, and that's enough for one day. I don't need to invite more in. But I do think we should stand up for like new country fans, but also just country fans in general, not getting this bad rap. Like, I've loved country forever, but I do not stand by this notion that we're not inviting the new in and that we're not inviting the new fan in. I want more of my friends to come and know one song, but come and listen, because often when you go to an artist and you know one song, you'll come away, save 5 more and learn more about the artist and get more into, or you'd have seen 2 of the support artists. I mean, the whole thing is ludicrous. You will then know that you like X, Y, and Z as well as Riley Green's one song, and then suddenly you are in for life, and we've got more gigs, more things happening, more festivals, more great acts. It's all for the greater good. So everybody, you know, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Go on, fight it in the comments.
I fell in love with someone I met on a Nashville trip, but we live in different countries. Is long distance ever worth it?
Ooh. I mean, I suppose there's context of like, I feel like you need to have some good times together living in the same place first before you then go into long distance. I feel like long distance from the jump is really difficult. And also, like, how do you know he's not just like future faking and keeps you sweet as like a pen pal, but then like he has a woman in every port? You know what I mean? Is that a weird saying? But like, I just feel like if I met someone in Nashville, it doesn't matter how hot and heavy and great and in love we were for like 2 weeks, I just worry that I would then come back here and he would just obviously be doing whatever he wanted there, because how would I ever know? Especially as like not someone from there. Like if you were from there and then you moved away, I feel like it's different, because you'd probably have some like boots on the ground who'd like be able to tell you, oh, he's cheating up a storm at the local bars. But like, how would we know? We wouldn't know. I mean, it would take some real FBI stalking. But anyway, yeah, so I would not, I mean, as much as I think we all do fantasize about that like Nashville man, that we're going to all fly over there on a lovely trip and we're going to find him, it does make me a bit nervous. But you know, I have seen it work. I have seen it happen. People have got married. It's been a thing. So I don't want to be too negative. But yeah, long distance is a bitch, isn't it? I don't want to, if I can help it, I don't want to get in a long distance relationship. But if I can help it, I would quite like a Nashville husband. So, you know, where's the chicken and the egg, isn't it? It's the chicken and the egg. I would say go and live with him for like 6 weeks. If you can find it, change jobs, do something that means you've got 6 weeks off, go and do it and see if you get a sniff of anything weird's been going on. Also, like, I do just think like get a taste of living with them before you go too deep in, because they might be a weirdo and have like, I don't know, some Russian dolls in the attic or something weird that you didn't know about, and like you might be, anyway, I don't want to start a horror movie. Although it is Halloween next week. What is everyone dressing as for Halloween? Yeah, I might just do, I was thinking actually for Halloween of doing Megan Maroney on one side and Ella Langley on the other. But then I felt that it might be a little bit like pitting the girls against each other, and I don't want to do that. But wouldn't that be cool? Quite hard to execute well, but what a sick costume. Well, Gilpers, you guys really, really sent in those questions. I want to hear more, okay? So if you can send in questions when we do this call out, when we next do a solo episode, let me know. I also want to say we have some great guests coming up. Next week is popping off. And if you want to see more of these solo episodes and want to interact with us on the podcast more, send in your questions to hello@girlsinlowplaces.com and you could win a Yeti.
You are listening to Girls in Low Places,
The podcast that asks country artists what only British girls can.
I've crawled across the table to Riley Green.
Hey, what kind of show is this?
Flash Tucker Wetmore.
That was you!
And yapped away with Carly Pearce.
To get married and divorced in a year, that is legit country.
And sometimes we just have a good old yap with British icons you wouldn't expect were country fans. So listen to Girls in Low Places wherever you get your podcasts.